What if this isn't the collapse? Crisis, yes. But what if this is the moment right before we decide who we want to be? Because I know it feels like the floor is giving out. And not just in one place, but everywhere, all at once. Again this week, ICE agents are showing up outside courthouses and schools. Prices remain heavy. July inflation ran hot, and housing is barely cooling off, if at all. I think we get the August numbers this week. Gas is hovering around $3.19 nationally, and for many people and families, the squeeze has not let up, as was promised. In Los Angeles, a federal judge ruled that the National Guard shouldn't have been deployed the way that it was, but Washington is now eyeing new moves in Chicago and ongoing ones in D.C., and the legal fights aren't slowing the ambition of the executive. Speaking of, a March executive order directed agencies to eliminate barriers to sharing unclassified data, and ICE has since hired Palantir to build Immigration OS, a new enforcement platform that fuses multiple government data sets. Informed civilians and civil liberties groups warn that this could supercharge domestic surveillance. After a lethal strike on a Venezuelan-linked vessel, officials signaled more operations against cartels. The president has warned Venezuela of further action, and these moves are drawing scrutiny from some, and some quiet questions about war powers in Congress. And abroad, our allies are strained. Tariff threats and a lopsided EU deal have made the transatlantic relationship feel transactional. Even as NATO affirms unity and higher defense spending, trust is wobbling. Here at home, concern about the 2026 midterms is growing and will continue to do so through that date. The DOJ has demanded voter data and sought access to old election equipment in several states over local objections. And election officials warn that federal overreach could shape outcomes before votes are even cast. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has shown growing deference to executive power. Since its 2024 ruling granting broad immunity for official acts, it's continued expanding presidential authority, most recently by lifting those restrictions on ICE operations in LA. And the old ghosts still haunt. Just yesterday, Congress released a photo of the alleged birthday card from Donald Trump, the one that exists in the alleged birthday book for Jeffrey Epstein, the one that would have been made or contributed to by his closest friends. Trump and his allies, of course, continue to deny its validity, while distrust deepens. It's a lot, all at once, and if you feel overwhelmed, that's not weakness, that's awareness. But here's what I want to say. We've been near this edge before. In 1933, during the Great Depression, 1 in 4 workers was unemployed. Banks were closing by the day. There were breadlines, farm foreclosures, hunger marches. What helped wasn't one perfect solution, but it was fast, clear action that met people where they were. A bank holiday stopped the bleeding. Deposit insurance restored trust. Public jobs built dignity into recovery. And Roosevelt's fireside chats didn't solve everything, but they made people feel less alone in the storm. Or take 1974. Watergate had just torn through the presidency. Inflation was spiking, and oil shocks were draining the economy. Cities like New York were teetering toward default. But instead of pretending it would all fix itself, we investigated. The Church Committee exposed decades of abuse. New legal guardrails were built, and the Federal Reserve finally acted to bring inflation down. It hurt, but it worked. We didn't heal quickly, but we chose repair over collapse. This time, the fractures aren't just financial, they're civic, institutional, and personal. Which means the repair has to be two. We need radical clarity. Show the books, map the systems, speak plainly. We need guardrails with teeth, rules that bind allies and opponents alike, watchdogs who aren't owned. We need local resilience. If the federal response feels rigged or remote, build the counterweight where you live. Legal clinics, public libraries, neighborhood safety nets, anything that helps real people stay connected. And we need to stop pretending that cost doesn't exist. Someone always pays. So let's name it and share it and decide together. Despair is a story about the future. It says nothing will get better, that we've already lost. But stories can be rewritten. And when the official stories fail, it's up to us to tell the true ones, the small ones, the ones that begin with courage and move toward connection. So here's the question I'm holding. What's one line in your neighborhood, your family, or your city that you would fight to keep from breaking? Because if we each hold one line, the floor might still hold.